If someone had to break down the structure of a dramatic play, the first two essential characters to that play would be the good guy and the bad guy. As casual viewers, we are taught to believe that protagonists are the good guys because the story's focus is on the good guys, whereas the antagonists must be the bad guys because, well, they're being antagonizing towards the good guys. While it is a simple concept to wrap everything nicely and it isn't necessarily accurate, protagonists and antagonists are not character traits, but rather character roles. It's their purpose in a story and how that purpose plays into the conflict of the characters and the progression of the story's drama. Morals, which determine who are bad and who are good, is a non-factor when assigning these roles to characters. So in the latest Star Wars films, we have a large cast of characters, but they all serve various different roles. Automatically, when we see the Resistance on screen, the first thought that would come to anyone's mind is that they're the protagonists. The story is told from their perspective, the story is written for us to sympathize and wish for their victory, so obviously they have to be the protagonist. But the term protagonist does not mean good guy, or a character audience has to like or identify with. Protagonist, according to Webster, is the principal character of a literary work, or the leading actor or principal character in a television show, movie, book, or play. The perspective of the story does not determine the moral compass of the character, and this is why we cannot assume that all heroes are protagonists. Antagonist, according to Webster, is one that contends or opposes with another. Again, the perspective of the story does not determine the moral compass. We cannot assume that all villains are antagonists. We though can assume that all protagonists and antagonists are key to a story and are the driving force of a story. As playwright and lecturer Lajos Egri writes, a novel, play, or any type of writing really is a crisis from beginning to end, growing to its necessary conclusion. As I mentioned in my previous video, Rey is not the hero of the story, but she is the pivotal character. According to Lajos Egri, protagonists are pivotal characters. Pivotal characters are the key character that drive all the drama, conflict, and resolution in a story. Whether it is a positive or a negative, without the protagonist, there is no story. Not all heroes drive drama, conflict, and resolution to a story. In fact, it is the hero that is forced to navigate through the drama, conflict, and resolution presented by the pivotal character that sets them apart in what is called the hero's journey. Through the hero, we are supposed to feel a sense of empathy and identification with the character. Pivotal characters, on the other hand, drive that empathy and identification. To be cheesy, they are the sun and all the other characters are the planets revolving around it. And in the case of Rey, isn't she just a ball of sunshine? Okay, well, alright, that was cheesy, but let's move on. So why can't Rey be a hero? She's the good guy, and all good guys are heroes, so she must be a hero, right? If we were to explain these movies in a too long didn't read type of way, yeah, she is a hero, just like Finn is a hero, and Poe's a hero, and Han's a hero. They are all heroes of their own journey as they experience trials and tribulations. But again, the role of the character in the story is not guided by the moral compass, but rather how that role affects the drama, conflict, and resolution of the story being told. So Rey is more than a hero. She is the catalyst that sets off a series of events. She is the character that everyone pivots to.
We were unable to acquire the droid on Jakku. It escaped capture aboard a stolen Carillion YT model freighter.
The droid stole a freighter?
Not exactly, sir. It had help. We have no confirmation, but we believe FN-2187 may have helped in the escape.
Anything else?
The two were accompanied by a girl.
What girl?
To explain the scene, the conflict is that they lost the MacGuffin, aka the thing that they are after, to FN-2187, the good guy. They stole a Corellian YT model freighter, the Millennium Falcon, via the help of one girl, Rey the protagonist. Had Finn and BB-8 not met Rey on Jakku, they would have eventually been caught by the First Order. Rey triggers the conflict for Kylo Ren and the First Order, and the resolution for BB-8 and Finn. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Finn's actions in The Force Awakens and later on in the first half of The Last Jedi are completely guided and controlled by the actions of Rey. At first, Finn's ambitions are to defect from the First Order, but upon meeting Rey, he has developed a new self-purpose. He wants to protect her, and even joins the fight just so that he can get Rey out of that fight and somewhere far away from the carnage that is the First Order. Rey is Finn's constant motivation. Rey is pivotal to Finn until Finn later learns to grow into his own self and become his own hero. Luke is reluctant to get back into the fight and does everything that he can to push Rey away. But Rey's arrival onto that island is not of coincidence. She came there for a reason. The Force picked her and sent her to him. But even though nothing of worth comes from these 3 days, Rey's presence forces Luke to deal with his own mistakes. Luke realizes that he cannot simply let his nephew spiral away and confronts him to pay the ultimate sacrifice. Rey is Luke's catalyst into the rising above the legend that he had made for himself. Rey is pivotal in making Luke realize that he must finish what he has started. The thing about pivotal characters that make them more than just heroes is that they are complete. And what I mean by complete is that they're not searching for something in the traditional sense. They want something, they need something, and in order to obtain these needs and wants, they drive the conflict into play in order to have these things come into fruition. As Lajos Egri writes, a pivotal character is a driving force, not because he decided to be one. He becomes what he is for the simple reason that some inner or outer necessity forces him to act. There is something at stake for him: honor, health, money, protection, vengeance, or a mighty passion. Pivotal character never become a pivotal character because they want to. He is forced by circumstances within and outside of him to become what he is. A hero can choose to be a hero. Han Solo chooses to fight with the Rebel Alliance and later chooses to assist the Resistance and his wife Leia in an attempt to bring their son back. But the protagonists, they are forced into the situation without choice. Luke takes up the journey of becoming a Jedi because it's all he has left. Of course, one could argue that he could have stayed on the farm and let Obi-Wan go, but for the circumstances of plot and conflict, the death of his aunt and uncle forced him to become the protagonist. So when we look at Rey, there are forces beyond her control that causes her to become awakened by the Force and drive the conflict and resulting fight for balance and the galaxy through the characters that weave in and out of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Rey is forcing everyone else around her to grow. She causes Finn to have purpose beyond that of the First Order. She makes Han and Luke come to terms with their old wounds. She gives Leia hope that her brother will be found, and she drives conflict in Ben Solo with the struggle of his light and dark side. In my previous video, I stated that Rey does not grow, but what I meant to say is that she does not grow in a way that the hero is expected to grow. A hero's growth is obvious, stark, in your face to serve a purpose to the overall moral of the story. But the pivotal character's growth is subtle, static, only there to trigger the other characters into motion. As Lajos Egri states, the absence of growth signals the absence of conflict, and the lack of conflict signals your characters are not well orchestrated. Rey's attitude throughout the saga is that of, I have to do what I must in order to survive. If Luke will help, then that's great, but if not, there's Ben Solo. Her only conflict is that of her parents, but she has no dog in this fight. She has no exponential growth that will take her from absolutely wanting to burn the galaxy down to wanting to restore balance and harmony to the Force. All Rey wants is stability. And through her interactions with everyone else, she will get there by bringing everyone else to her guiding light. She is not the traditional hero. She's not there to slay the dragon. But Rey is the story. She is the soul of the new saga. Hey guys, and thanks for watching this video essay. Character types versus character roles versus character traits has always been something that's been really interesting to me as a student of creative writing and film. And so I just wanted to dive into that a little bit further, especially after last week's video where some people weren't too happy about it. Yeah, so if you guys liked what you watched, give it a like. If you want to share your thoughts, put it in the comments below. And if you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. I also do appreciate the last 2 people who did subscribe to my channel, so thank you so very much. I plan to be doing these once a week on every Wednesday, updating and sharing more video essays on topics like Star Wars and other film story writing type of topic thingies. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next week. Bye.